Hello, I'm Gil Zilkha. Welcome to my channel, Essential Classical Music, where we look at the best recordings of the standard classical music repertoire. This video is taken out of my larger video on the great conductors and their best recordings. I hope you enjoy it. Now let's talk about his near contemporary, Bruno Walter, German conductor, who, being Jewish, had to flee, of course, Nazi Germany, and ended up the last decade of his life recording in the U.S. The first recording I want to mention with Bruno Walter is one that is probably the most famous one that he's associated with, and this is also with a composer that he knew personally as well associated with. That's Mahler, the iconic Das Lied von der Erde. With the beautiful artistry of the contralto Kathleen Ferrier, and she's joined by tenor Julius Patzak. This was made in the early 50s, fairly good mono, a little bit rough, but fairly good and clear with the Vienna Philharmonic. And this is just... it's from the horse's mouth music making. I mean, these artists just give it. Walter knew the score backwards and forwards. It's almost an emotionally draining experience. Just one of the iconic recordings that has ever been made. Now, for Mahler, I also want to mention one from his younger years. Bruno Walter was known, especially for those studio recordings he made in the U.S. later, as very warm, very genial, which he was. But he also, in his younger years, was much more viscerally exciting. And when you explore these older recordings, you really get to hear that, and especially in this one. This is a live Mahler first, with the NBC Symphony, recorded right after he fled Europe for the U.S. And it's just absolutely electric. His knowledge of the score, his dramatic pacing, coupled with Toscanini's incisive NBC Symphony, it's really not to miss. And it's a fairly clear-sounding recording for its time. So another one of the great Mahler recordings. Now, Walter was also known for Beethoven. Again, he was known as more genial, more humane. So his most famous Beethoven recording is the Pastoral Symphony No. 6. Now, I've said before, it's almost too genial in the storm section, which sounds more like a little mild shower as opposed to a ferocious storm compared to some other versions. But all in all, though, the whole point of the Pastoral Symphony is that vibe of sort of transcendental experience in nature. And Bruno Walter himself said that as a conductor, you can't conduct the pastoral unless you've experienced that yourself. And he obviously shows that in this recording. And it's a studio recording from near the end of his life, so it's a very good sounding example of his art. Now, again, if you want to hear slightly younger Bruno Walter, but more viscerally exciting, we have this, the Missa Solemnis, a live recording from New York from the late 40s, which it's unfortunately the sound quality, there's nothing you can do about it. It's staticky, it's a little bit murky, but oh my gosh, is this, this will show you that Bruno Walter was not just this, gentle person, and that he also could bring the fire and the intensity, just like that Mahler first I was talking about. And for the Missa Solemnis, which is such a difficult work, Beethoven just stretches the chorus and orchestra to its limits. It's really exciting to hear it done like this. Now, he was also known for Brahms. And once again, we have sort of the Brahms equivalent of the Pastoral, the Second Symphony, which probably shows Bruno Walter at his best. He is most well known for this later recording on Sony. But I want to mention this earlier one. This is another one of those live recordings. This is in mono. I think it's live. I'm pretty sure. It might actually be a studio, but in any case, it's mono, so it's not as well recorded. But he's a little bit more fiery, especially in that final movement, which is one of the fastest you'll ever hear. In any case, the Brahms second, it features the lullaby theme. Bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 bum. With Bruno Walter, it doesn't ever dawdle, but it's got this beautiful phrasing to it. It's very warm and caressing, and it just tailor made for his style. So both of these are great recordings. And then finally, another one from his fiery earlier days, and one of the iconic recordings of all time is this one. This is a studio recording from the 30s of the first act of Wagner's Die Walküre. Unfortunately, it's not the entire opera, not much less the entire Ring cycle, but it is incredibly intense from the word go. And you've got Loritz Melchior and Lotte Lehmann, two of the greatest Wagner singers you'll ever hear. This is a must for lovers of Wagner, one of the great opera recordings of all time. And again, Bruno Walter brings that intensity and fire to the proceedings. Thanks for watching. I want to wish you all a great day and happy listening.